During the Bardo, our emotions are wild, and because whatever we imagined, whatever we think, that is displayed to us. Our angers get reflected in kind of a wind. I think darkness, wind, jealousy, ignorance, all the emotions are what we thought arises. We project it, and that becomes our reality in the Bardo stage. So bless us so that we shall recognize the illusory nature of appearances. Sometimes the mind becomes very clear. Immediately it becomes forgetfulness resumes. And when we question whether we are dead or alive, bless us to know that we are indeed, now we have passed away, we are indeed dead. After 4.5 days, it's actually 3.5 days. Chetangshi means 3.5 days. Wife, the children, the position, the fame, the authority, the wealth, everything has been left behind. And that nothing you can do about it. How can you leave behind something we never really owned in the beginning? No? We just have authority to utilize it. But we don't realize it, so we have an illusion of owning things, owning our family, owning our wealth. And because of that misunderstanding, we have a lot of despair. And we seek refuge. And when we seek refuge, yes, we can say that externally we seek refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, yes. But more than that is to understand more than seeking, yes, and then external Buddha Dhamma will help. For example, those who do a lot of Amitabha Buddha Pure Land practice during the Bardo's time, it is, or even before you pass away, there are many stories of Amitabha Buddha appearing and leading, yourself to be liberated. But, take refuge in external Amitabha Buddha, external Guru is good. But it is even more better to understand that your own mind is the Buddha. Your own mind is the union of emptiness and appearance, emptiness and sound, emptiness and thoughts. And whatever fear that you are feeling, nature of that very fear is the emptiness, is union. And that is the true Buddha, and that is the true refuge. Rather than asking somebody to save me from my fear, if you can realize that the very fear is the Buddha, the very fear is non-existent, isn't that better? Rather than having somebody coming to protect you from the snake, isn't it much better to look nicely at the snake and realize it was just a dark rope, It was not a snake at all. Isn't that much better? That is the difference between taking refuge in the outer Buddha Dhamma Sangha and realizing the true, so-called outer Buddha Dhamma Sangha are also inseparable from the true nature of all the phenomena. Right? Realizing that snake being not snake, that wisdom itself is the Buddha. And because the Buddhas have realized that, that's why they are called Buddha. So that's why it says, may I understand to take refuge in the self-cognition or self-recognition, recognize the nature of your mind. And when the Bardo is understood as being the Bardo, may I able to visualize myself as the Idam, right? Idam means what? In the Vajrayana, Guru is the Buddha. Idam means all the deity, Tara, or Tara visualization, this visualization, all the etc. All of these are the Idam means practice, basically. Idam is Dharma. Why? Because right now through the visualization, through the chanting, is a skillful way of recognizing the nature of the union, nature of the mind, nature of the form. Right? So it is true. So basically whenever we are doing for example, Tara practiced, yes, from the relative point of view, you can say you are seeking Tara's blessing and Tara will bless you, Tara will protect you. But when we are visualizing ourselves as a Tara, the visualizing, etc., Tara in front of you, at that time, what we are really trying to do is realize the Buddha within ourselves through the Tara practice. So Tara practice becomes the Dharma, the path to realizing the Tara within ourselves, the Buddha within ourselves. So that is why, Ranglil Hargom, may I visualize myself as you can call it visualization, you can say, may I do the practice of the Idam, right? May I do the practice of transforming or visualizing or recognizing my body as the empty appearance. That is the idam. And depending on your idam during your bardo also, you will see that it is said. If you are someone who does tara practice all the time, then during the bardo, tara, green tara, white tara will guide you and liberate you. Anyway, basically we have to do the visualization, and after the visualization, meditating on the luminosity means that after the visualization you dissolve the visualization into your nature of the mind, right? You dissolve that you as a tara also, it dissolves finally into the nothingness or the nature of your mind. Union, I wouldn't say nothingness, union, right? That's called the luminosity. And from that luminosity again, from the emptiness arises the form. Form is emptiness. Other than emptiness, there's no form. Similarly, it arises, it's called the union, right? So if you are able to do that, then it is said that you can get enlightened in the Sambhogakaya realm in the Bardo. So you can go to the pure land of Sambhogakaya. You can recognize yourself as a Tara, get enlightened in the form of the Tara, go to the Sambhogakaya pure land. That is possible. Grant us the grace so the pure illusory body arises. And it is said that within these 49 days, the Bardo body, the Bardo life does not last more than 7 days. So every 7 days we go through minor death. So that is the reason in the Himalayan tradition, Vajrayana tradition, when the person passes away, we do very extensive prayers for the 3.5 days, because that is the time they have not recognized themselves. And then every 7 days, if you have noticed, if for somebody pass away on the Sunday, then the next Sunday and the next Sunday, each 7 days, we do try to do as much of good deed as possible, because it is these 7 days that they go through these minor deaths. So, when the crashes, and it is said that you also see the what you call the Shitral Haso, the 42 peaceful deities, 52 wrathful deities, which are actually manifestation of your own variety of emotions and thought. But when we do not recognize it, we become fearful of them. And similarly, when the collapsing of the mountains, the raging oceans, and the blazing forests, apocalyptic hurricanes, 1,000 simultaneous thunderclaps terrify us, may I understand that they are nothing but the sound of the emptiness, right? Our empty nature of the sound, right? So this too, when we do the Tara mantra recitation, we are supposed to understand that, we are supposed to visualize the sound, Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, the sound coming out of these words. These sounds are you can call it like a thunder, or you can call it very loud. Sound are loud, yet their nature is empty. Yet the sound appears. We are supposed to visualize in that manner. That will help us to recognize the nature of the sound. We'll talk that. And then dazzling light of 5 colors agitate us, form rays and spares or droplets of light. Each week it said that I think it's each week that light, 2 bright light comes, 1 white light leading up to one of the 5 Buddha pure realm, and the less white light going to the God realm. And then the red white light going to, if I remember correctly, to one of the Amitabha Buddha, and the lower red light, I think, going to the human realm, So basically it is said that every 7 days, the true light appears, giving us, ability to choose. So etc. arising anyway, this droplets of light arise, hordes of wrathful beings clamoring, kill, slaughter. Bless us so that we recognize our own projection as the deity. Because of desire, aversion, ignorance, white, red, and black vertigo's abyss appear. When we panic totally at the idea of falling into them, Bless us so that we recognize the purity of our own projections, right? So whether we are able to recognize that will depend on the present life, right? Present life, when we see enemy, when we see something that is unpleasant, are we able to recognize it as our own projection, or do we recognize it as something that is existing externally, right? If you are able to say, I do not like that person, but it is not because I do not like. It is because I desire for something. Because of my desire, I have projected something desirable way of appearance, desirable sound, desirable something. And because of my desire, whatever was obstructing my desire, for example, today I want my husband to tell me, good morning, do you want a cup of tea? But your husband has no idea, He doesn't know that you have projected this concept. So that's why in the morning he says, bring me a cup of coffee, and suddenly you are very upset, right? So when you're upset, you have to know that upset that you feel, is it your projection or is it your husband's fault? Maybe he's thinking of you a few years ago, when you were happy to bring him a cup of coffee. Now you have changed, Now you have become the bit of women empowerment. But poor guy doesn't know that you have modernized yourself, right? So you have to know when you get upset, are we able to recognize that upsetness as our projection or not? In this life, if we are able to recognize it, in the Bardo we will be able to. If right now with the Dharma, with the body, we can't recognize, Bardo is very, very difficult. Yeah. Anyway, bless us so that we recognize Pirush, our projection. The body is taking form according to the place of birth. So this is talking about after 21 days. After 21 days, wherever you are going to take, our physical body starts to change to that appearance. White, red, yellow, blue, or black light appears, leading to the god, human, animal, hungry ghost, or hell realm. Bless us so that we know them in 5 respective paths. We see a celestial palace with the god's children flocking joyfully, a lake adorned with swans, magnificent bulls and horse, or a beautiful mansion with parents in union. Please bless us to be freed of attachment, aversion, and envy.